Hello there, everyone. If you're watching this video, then you are part of the TTOR army, an army that is building itself up one subscriber at a time. As you can see from the title and thumbnail of today's video, today we're going to be responding to the newest Paulogia video. It has been a long time since I have made a video response to a Paulogia video. I did a few years ago, back in the day, that were on my YouTube channel, and now that that channel doesn't exist anymore, you can only find those videos on my BitChute channel. And this new video that Paulogia put out was just too juicy to ignore. This video, in particular, as you can see here on screen, is titled, "If I Debated Kent Hovind, Best Evidence for Evolution." Now, when I initially saw this video pop up in my YouTube feed, I thought, Paulogia is going to present the best evidence for evolution that he has. I have to watch this video. And what I was thinking was, okay, I'll just watch the video, I'll see what Paulogia's best evidences for evolution is, and I'll respond to each and every one. That's what I was initially thinking going into this. I don't really care about him wanting to debate Kent Hovind or Kent Hovind wanting to debate him. I'm not here to defend Kent Hovind. That's not even a thought in my head in terms of responding to this video. This video response is all about responding to Paulogia. And I only made it through the first 11-ish minutes of the video, and after seeing the stipulations that Paulogia had that would have to be met in order for him to do a debate with Kent Hovind, I realized, wow, not only are Paulogia's stipulations self-contradicting, but they also don't promote open and honest discussion and debate on the topic he wants to debate Kent Hovind on. This guy is a complete hypocrite, which I've talked about in the past. But let's actually get into what these stipulations are. Now, as you can see, our first clip starts at the 9-minute and 26-second mark of the video, and it is from this point to the 10-minute and 4-second mark of the video where we see the following.
Stipulation 2 would be a bit of a give on my part. For the sake of argument, the debate would assume that a personal deity was the creator of the first replicating molecules of life from non-life. I would agree, for the sake of the debate, to a designer. This would accomplish several things. It would appropriately keep abiogenesis, and anything prior, out of the debate, since biological evolution does not speak to it, making it a red herring. It would also keep the focus on the actual evidence, how it was done, not who did it.
So, as we could see in that clip, Paulogia says that he would agree for the purpose of debate that there is an intelligent designer behind evolution because evolution only accounts for what happens after the first cell comes into existence, and evolution does not account for the first cell coming into existence from non-living material or nothing, which is abiogenesis, which is what he's referring to. And this allegedly keeps the focus on how evolution was done, not who did it. Of course, by bringing up abiogenesis, we have to have an open and honest discussion about abiogenesis, because abiogenesis is religion masquerading as science. Now, how do I know that abiogenesis is religion masquerading as science? Well, here's the Wikipedia article on abiogenesis, and it says in the first sentence, "In biology, abiogenesis, or the origin of life, is the natural process by which life has arisen from non-living material, such as simple organic compounds." We have to stop right there because this is a lie. Abiogenesis is not a natural process of life coming from non-living material. How do we know that this is not a natural process? Because nobody has ever actually seen life come from non-living material without any kind of intelligent intervention involved whatsoever. We see it in the Bible with the creation account, but we have a creator God behind that who intervened in the situation of nothing existing to make everything. So we have the intelligent intervention that led to life coming from nothing. But in the case of evolution, we have never seen life come from non-living material without any intelligent intervention involved whatsoever. And this is very important because if we've never seen life come from non-living material without any kind of intelligent intervention involved whatsoever, then not only can we not record this as a historical occurrence, but we also cannot set up an experiment to verify that this actually happens. This means that abiogenesis, by definition, is not science, and it is religious fantasy in the minds of atheists and evolutionists. But I already know how evolutionists will respond to this. They'll claim that, well, you see, Justin, there are scientists or groups of scientists who performed experiments where they were successfully able to get life to come from non-living material. And this intelligent intervention is proof of atheistic evolution and abiogenesis. I responded to this argument in my 2019 video. Professor Stick claims that intelligent intervention is proof of atheistic evolution. And that is literally how stupid the rejection of God and creationism has made evolutionists and atheists. They will literally argue that a group of intelligent minds getting life to come from non-living material is proof of atheistic evolution, when the obvious conclusion that you would draw from it is that this is proof of intelligent design, intelligent intervention. It's the small-scale version of what the Bible says happened on the ultimate cosmic scale. The other problem with what Paulogia said is that the whole point of evolution, according to most atheists and evolutionists that you talk to on the internet and in real life, is to explain how everything came into existence from nothing without a God being involved. But since the evolution paradigm of history doesn't account for what happened prior to the first cell coming into existence, this leaves the door wide open for a creator God to be the one who initiated the whole process and mechanisms of evolution. So if Paulogia was an honest man, he would identify himself either as a theistic or a deistic evolutionist instead of an atheist. If he was a theistic evolutionist, he could claim to be a Christian while accepting everything about the evolution paradigm of history and everything the establishment says about evolution. Or, since he doesn't like Christianity, he could take the option of being a deistic evolutionist. He could say, well, there was a God of sorts who created the first living cell from nothing, and he initiated the Big Bang, but then he walked away from everything, and he allowed evolution and all of its mechanisms to take over the course of billions of years. If Paulogia were to take that position, it would be a much more honest position regarding evolution and its paradigm than atheism is. But for Paulogia to claim to be an atheist in light of the fact that evolution actually leaves the door open to a creator God of sorts existing, well, that's not really an intellectually honest position for a guy who claims to believe in evolution at the same time that he also claims to be an atheist. It is in the next clip where we see Paulogia say the following.
It would also remove any motivation-assuming attacks, which are entirely non-helpful in a debate.
Why can't they say this is designed? Because that means there's a designer. Yep. Very simple. Yep. They don't want there to be a designer because they don't want him telling them what to do.
And, as we could see in that clip, Paulogia claims that when creationists point out that atheists and evolutionists reject all the evidence for intelligent design because they don't want there to be an intelligent designer who tells them what to do, creationists are guilty of assuming motivations or assigning motivations to atheists and evolutionists like Paulogia. The problem with what Paulogia says is that his own atheist YouTuber brethren, Professor Stick, has already publicly admitted that even if he accepted all the evidence for intelligent design and the truthfulness of the Bible, he would still reject God because God is allegedly a horrible, evil monster. And we see this admission by Professor Stick in his 2017 video, Apparently Atheists Worship Two Gods. It is from the 5-minute 6-second mark of this video to the 6-minute mark of this video that we see Professor Stick make this admission.
I've often asked atheists this question as a test. If you were given the evidence that you need as proof that God exists, then would you submit and worship God?
I don't think there'll ever be a stage in which the Christian God specifically will be proven to be true, but let's say that it has been proven. In that case, this would honestly be a tricky question for me. On one hand, God is pretty evil himself from what I get from the Bible. His morals are completely fucked up and he does some really stupid shit. So judging by that, I wouldn't want to worship him, but I might consider worshiping him if I ever decide that my pride is a worthy sacrifice to avoid all eternity in hell. But the answer to this question doesn't actually matter. Whether or not we worship him, we will believe his existence if sufficient evidence is provided. This in itself shows that we atheists choose not to believe in God because of the lack of evidence, not because we want to do evil things without consequences.
So, as we saw in that Professor Stick clip, he admitted that even if he accepted all of the evidence that the Bible is true, that intelligent design is true, that God exists, he would still reject God because God is allegedly this horrible evil monster who does all these horrible things to people as recorded in the Bible. Of course, when he's talking about horrible things that God did, he's talking about things like God having the Israelites drive the Canaanites out of the Holy Land and killing a bunch of them along the way because the Canaanites engaged in all of these horrible, evil practices for hundreds of years, like child sacrifice and incest and all kinds of sex with animals for hundreds of years without repentance and rejected any kind of opportunity of repentance. That's the kind of stuff that allegedly makes God a horrible evil monster. For holding people who murder their own children and have sex with animals and commit incest, holding those people accountable for the crimes they've committed against God and each other, that's what makes God a horrible evil person, according to people like Professor Stick here. Now, Paulogia might respond to this point by saying that while Professor Stick might have that motivation, he himself does not. Unfortunately for Paulogia, though, atheists are not known for their honesty or integrity. Just ask Steve McRee about the time he got screwed out of money on the Non Sequitur show by his other host, Kyle. That whole debacle alone, and many like it, are reasons why people don't view atheists as people who are honest and have integrity. And as we're going to see later on in this video, Paulogia himself does not have honesty or integrity either. Now, it is at this point in the video, for the next 62 seconds, that we see the following.
And the final stipulation would be that I'm not here to debate or discuss what's published in textbooks or taught in classrooms.
AJ, have you spent 3 seconds trying to get this lie out of the textbook? Then help me get that out of the textbooks, because it is in the textbooks.
First, I'm Canadian, so my influence on the American education system is negligible anyhow. But more importantly, I'm sure Kent would agree that what is or isn't taught has no bearing at all on what's true. That's it. Pretty easy, right? After Kent clears his name, we have 3 rules from him: equal time, 1 topic at a time, no cursing, and 3 rules from me. Agree in advance on definitions to be used in the debate, including the definition of evolution. Both stipulate, for the sake of the debate, that life has a designer, and schools, taxes, and textbooks are irrelevant to the discussion.
So, as we saw in that clip, Paulogia wants any discussion of what science or biology textbooks say about evolution to be banned from the debate, claiming that what's taught in the textbooks has no bearing on what is actually true. But earlier in the video, Paulogia said that Kent Hovind was allowed to consult biology textbooks that are actively used in mainstream secular universities and written within the past 20 years in order to come to a definition of evolution that he and Kent could use for the debate. And we see this at the 8-minute and 13-second mark of the video.
Now, if Kent has been so brainwashed by his own decades of rhetoric that he can't come up with such a definition himself, I would happily allow him to consult college-level biology textbooks actively in use today in mainstream secular universities and written in the last 20 years. Nothing from grade school, nothing from before the year 2002. The debate would open by Kent reading the pre-agreed definition and affirming that he will not waver from this definition at any point in the conversation under penalty of forfeit.
What I would have to say to Paulogia in response to this whole idea of, well, you can use the textbooks to give a definition of evolution, but you can't actually discuss the evidence for evolution that's presented in those textbooks in the debate. What I would say in response to Paulogia is that if the definition of evolution in the textbooks is okay to present in a debate, then the evidence for evolution presented by those same textbooks should be open for discussion and debate. So not only is Paulogia's third stipulation self-contradictory, but it also proves that Paulogia doesn't believe in open and honest debate despite his claims to the contrary. But this is not surprising at all, considering that back in 2017, Paulogia engaged in cancel culture tactics to try and get Ken Ham canceled from a speaking engagement at a homeschool conference. And then in 2018, right before the conference was about to happen, Paulogia got canceled from the AIG dinner that was going to take place right before the conference. And then he got canceled from attending the conference by the Alberta Home Education Association that was hosting the conference, because both parties saw what Paulogia had to say in the media the year before regarding them deciding to book Ken Ham as a speaker at their conference, and they decided that he didn't need to be there. So Paulogia cried victim when this happened and blatantly ignored the fact that he engaged in cancel culture tactics the year before to try and get Ken Ham deplatformed from the conference. And of course, the whole time he's telling his sob story, he claims that he's all about open and honest discussion and debate about ideas, and that Ken Ham should bring his ideas to the marketplace of ideas, but then as soon as Ken Ham tries to do it, he tries to get him canceled. So Paulogia is someone who's very authoritarian in his worldview. He doesn't actually believe in open and honest discussion about evolution and creation. His past actions prove it, and the stipulations for his debate that he's trying to allegedly set up with Kent Hovind, if Kent Hovind's name gets cleared, that's all a farce. He doesn't actually want things discussed in the debate. He has shown from his stipulations that he doesn't want actual evidence for evolution that's presented by the textbooks to be discussed, even though he says he'll allow you to use the textbooks to define what evolution is. And he doesn't want abiogenesis to be discussed, even though abiogenesis is at the heart of evolution and its paradigm of history. He doesn't want an actual, open, honest discussion about evolution to occur. So, if I was in Kent Hovind's shoes, I would look at this guy's stipulations and I would say no to them, and I would never have a debate with this guy. And I know Kent Hovind on multiple occasions, because Paulogia has shown video evidence of it in this video. Kent Hovind has made multiple attempts to goad Paulogia into doing a debate with him. So somebody should give this video of mine to Kent Hovind so Kent can understand why he should never have a debate with Paulogia. Paulogia does not want an open, honest discussion about evolution, the evidence for it, and what the evolution paradigm of history actually teaches. He wants to restrict discussions into something that's small and narrowed, and he can just keep going in circles around. He doesn't actually want to deal with the cold, hard facts. He doesn't want to deal with the actual evidence. He doesn't want to deal with the actual problems of the evolution paradigm of history. And so that's why he has the stipulations for debating Kent Hovind that he does. Now, I know some atheist evolutionist at this point is going to be like, Justin, you didn't deal with any of the actual evidence that Paulogia presented in his video. Yes, I know. And that's why there's going to be at least a part 2. I intend to sit down, look at all of the evidences for evolution that Paulogia presents in this video, and I'm going to see what they are, and I'm going to think about basically if it's really true or not. Is there a refutation that exists? Are his arguments even any good? I'm going to do all the work I need to do to properly respond to all of his evidences for evolution that he presents in this video. That's going to come in the future, but it's going to take a while to create that video, and so there will be other TTOR videos that come out before part 2 does. I just wanted to get this video out here now because it was easier to do, and it exposes Paulogia for the lying, two-faced hypocrite that he is. Paulogia is a double-minded man who commits doublespeak when dealing with Christians and creationists. And no creationist worth his salt should ever try to have a debate with Paulogia, because Paulogia doesn't believe in an open and honest discussion and debate, even though he claims he does. And Paulogia, being an atheist and an evolutionist, actually makes sense in light of his double-mindedness and his doublespeak. Paulogia loves being double-minded. He loves his doublespeak, whether he realizes it consciously or not, and that's why he is the way he is, and that's why he's never going to accept any of the evidence for God and Jesus and the Bible and the gospel and creationism. He's set in his ways. He has a hard heart. The only way Paulogia would ever convert back to belief in the biblical worldview is through a miracle of God. It would come through God softening his heart and having him actually consider not only the evidence for creationism in the biblical worldview, but also consider how fatally flawed the evolution paradigm of history is, and realizing that no amount of science can actually support a fatally flawed paradigm, worldview, and history. So that's what would have to happen for Paulogia to actually get right with God and change and not be an atheist anymore. And as fun as it would be to see him do it, I don't see it happening. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw and you want to help me go from being a part-time to a full-time content creator, then I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos, and leave your likes and comments down below. If you'd like to help me preserve freedom of speech on the internet, you can join Creation Social, which is my open source alt-tech alternative to Facebook and Gab. And in the future, I'll be rolling out a video sharing site of my own. So if you want to help support that and make that happen, you can also help out with that through the various payment methods that we have. You can use the payment methods to pay for Creation Social, the future video sharing site, and anything else related to TTOR. First way you can do that is become an active monthly subscriber to the TTOR Subscribe Star account. We have $1 tiers, $5 tiers, $20 tiers, $25, $50, and even $100 tiers. And if we have at least 5 active subscribers at all times, your money can actually be paid out to me so I can use it for the TTOR Creation Social projects. The other way you can donate to TTOR and Creation Social and anything related to those two things is you can go to any one of my individual Joshu TV videos, click on the Send a Tip button, and that will take you to my tip jar page where you can donate to TTOR through PayPal. You can purchase products from our Teespring store, both TTOR and Creation Social products. You can also donate to my Ko-fi page, and if you have Bitcoin, you can send it to my Joshu TV wallet. So those are all the different ways that you can support TTOR financially as far as crowdfunding platforms go. Another way you can support TTOR, Creation Social, and everything related to those things financially is you can go to Amazon and purchase one of my books. There's Another Inconvenient Truth, What Secular America Hates. And then there's Another Inconvenient Truth too, Defending Young Earth Creationism. Both books are available as a Kindle download and a paperback on Amazon. You can also download them as PDF files off of the TTOR Teespring store, and they're also available on the Creation Social Marketplace. Thank you for watching, and have an excellent day.